Imagine this for a moment. Somewhere beyond the reality you can see, there may be another version of you already living the life you have only begun to dream about. A version of you who made a different choice. A version of you who walked away when you stayed, spoke when you remained silent, trusted when you were afraid. And what if that version of you is not separate at all, but still connected to you by something invisible, powerful, and deeply spiritual? What if the moments you call coincidence are not accidents? What if that sudden feeling of familiarity, that unexplained inner knowing, that dream you cannot forget, is actually a message, a sign crossing the veil between realities, a whisper from another timeline, a reminder that your life is not limited to the path you currently see? To many, the idea of parallel realities sounds like fantasy, but both spiritual insight and modern quantum thought suggest something far more profound. Reality may hold infinite possibilities, all existing beyond the surface of ordinary perception. And in those possibilities, there are other expressions of you, each carrying different lessons, different wounds, different wisdom, and different destinies. Some may have already overcome the struggles you are facing now. Others may embody the peace, abundance, and purpose your soul has been longing for. This is why exploring parallel versions of yourself is not just an intriguing concept. It is a doorway into self-discovery, healing, and transformation. When you begin to sense that your life is part of something much larger, you stop seeing yourself as trapped by circumstance and begin to recognize your true spiritual potential. You start to understand that every thought, every emotion, and every decision may be shaping the reality you step into next. In today's journey, we will explore the signs that a parallel version of you may already be trying to reach you, and how learning to recognize that connection could change the way you see your life forever. Because perhaps the answers you have been searching for are not outside of you at all. Perhaps they are already being sent by another you, waiting for you to listen. Section 1. The hidden truth about parallel realities and your soul's path. Parallel realities are a deeply fascinating concept, especially when viewed through a spiritual lens. From this perspective, the universe is not limited to a single fixed reality, but is instead made up of infinite coexisting dimensions. Within each of these dimensions exists a different version of ourselves, each one living a life shaped by the endless possibilities created by our thoughts, choices, emotions, and energy. In other words, every decision we make may do more than influence our future here. It may also align us with one of countless realities in which another version of us is living out a different path. Spiritually, many believe that these multiple realities emerge from a greater universal consciousness. In this view, every thought we hold, every intention we set, and every energetic frequency we emit has creative power. Each of these inner movements gives birth to a new branch of experience, forming a reality in which a version of us lives through a distinct story. In one reality, perhaps you are already living the life you long for, peaceful, fulfilled, abundant, and aligned with your purpose. In another, you may be facing trials that teach resilience, surrender, or spiritual strength. Each version reflects not randomness, but the vibrational patterns and choices expressed at different moments of existence. Interestingly, quantum physics offers a complementary way of looking at this mystery. According to the idea of quantum superposition, subatomic particles can exist in multiple states at the same time until they are observed. For many, and this suggests that reality itself may also operate within a field of infinite possibilities. On a fundamental level, all potential realities may already exist simultaneously, waiting to be experienced. Through consciousness, through attention, decision, belief, and energy, we may be participating in the process of selecting or collapsing one of those possibilities into the reality we currently live. This is why the idea of parallel versions of ourselves is not merely an abstract spiritual theory. It is a powerful concept that resonates across both spiritual wisdom and scientific reflection. Each version of you may represent a different expression of your infinite potential. Though these versions appear separated by subtle energetic or frequency-based barriers, they may still remain deeply connected through the consciousness that gave rise to them all. And if that connection is real, then it is possible that these other versions of you are not silent. They may be reaching toward you in subtle ways, through feelings, symbols, dreams, intuitions, and moments that seem too meaningful to ignore. They may be sending guidance, warnings, or encouragement to help you make choices that bring you closer to your highest path. So, how can you tell when this is happening? How do you recognize the signs that a version of yourself in another reality may be trying to communicate with you? Let us now explore the most common signals that may reveal this mysterious and profound connection. Section 2. Déjà vu and divine synchronicities. Signs from your parallel self. Have you ever stepped into a moment that felt strangely familiar, as though you had already lived it before? Perhaps it lasted only a few seconds, yet it carried an unsettling sense of recognition so strong that it made you pause. This experience, which we call déjà vu, is often dismissed as a simple trick of the mind, but from a deeper spiritual perspective, it may be far more meaningful than that. In many cases, déjà vu can be understood as a brief moment of alignment with a parallel version of yourself. It is as if, for an instant, the veil between realities becomes thinner, allowing you to sense and experience that another version of you has already lived. These moments can feel subtle, but they often leave a powerful emotional imprint. They remind us that reality may not be as fixed or isolated as it appears. Instead, our lives may be woven into a much greater field of consciousness, one in which multiple versions of ourselves exist across different dimensions, still connected in ways we do not fully understand. When déjà vu occurs, it may be a sign that your awareness has touched one of those other timelines, offering you a fleeting glimpse into a path already explored by another self. Beyond déjà vu, another powerful sign of this connection can appear through synchronicities. These are the meaningful coincidences that seem too precise, too timely, and too symbolically charged to be random. They often show up when you are facing uncertainty, considering an important decision, or searching for clarity. You may begin noticing the same numbers repeatedly, hearing the same phrase in unrelated conversations, or encountering the same symbol in places where it should not logically keep appearing. Spiritually, these moments can be seen as messages, subtle signals that a parallel version of you may be trying to get your attention. Synchronicities serve as reminders that the universe communicates in patterns, not always in words. They suggest that realities may overlap more often than we realize, and that guidance can reach us through repetition, symbolism, and resonance. It can feel as though another version of you, perhaps one who has already walked the road you are now considering, is gently trying to point you in a certain direction. Not by force, but through signs that awaken your awareness. Imagine, for example, that you have been quietly thinking about changing careers. You have not told many people, and perhaps you are still unsure whether you should follow that inner pull. Then suddenly, the same symbol, phrase, or message begins appearing everywhere. You notice it in advertisements, on social media, in a passing comment from a stranger, or in a casual conversation with a friend. What seems like coincidence may actually carry a deeper meaning. It could be a signal from a version of you in another reality, one who already made that change and is now nudging you to pay attention. This is why these experiences should not be ignored too quickly. Déjà vu and synchronicities may be invitations to become more aware of the hidden dialogue taking place beneath ordinary life. They call you to slow down, observe carefully, and ask yourself what these signs may be trying to reveal. Sometimes, the guidance you seek does not arrive in a dramatic voice from the outside. Sometimes, it comes as a quiet echo from another version of you, gently leading you toward the path your soul is ready to recognize. Section 3. Dreams as portals. Messages from the life. You're meant to live. Another powerful sign of communication with a parallel version of yourself can come through dreams. Dreams have long been understood as gateways to the subconscious mind, revealing hidden emotions, unresolved memories, and deeper truths within us. But from a spiritual perspective, they may be even more than that. They can also serve as windows into other realities, subtle spaces where the boundaries of ordinary time and identity become less rigid. In these altered states of awareness, it is possible that we are not only processing our inner world, but also touching experiences lived by other versions of ourselves. This is especially true with vivid dreams, the kind that feel intensely real and remain with you long after you wake. Some dreams leave more than an impression. They leave an emotional residue, as though you have actually been somewhere, known someone, or lived through something significant. When you dream of a life that feels unfamiliar on the surface yet deeply familiar in spirit, or when you meet people you have never encountered in waking life but somehow feel connected to. It may be a sign that you are accessing memories, emotions, or experiences from a parallel version of yourself. These dreams often carry a strange mixture of mystery and recognition. You may find yourself in a home you have never seen before, walking through a city you do not know, or living a completely different life. Yet everything feels natural, as if some part of you remembers it. This sense of inner recognition is important. It suggests that the dream may not be random, but instead may reflect a deeper connection to another timeline, where another version of you is living that very reality. Lucid dreaming offers an even more direct and powerful form of this experience. When you become aware that you are dreaming, and especially when you are able to guide or influence the dream, you enter a state of consciousness that is uniquely open and spiritually significant. In this state, many believe it is possible to consciously connect with other realities and explore alternative versions of yourself with greater clarity. A lucid dream can become more than a dream. It can become an encounter, an exploration, or even a form of inner guidance. The key to understanding these experiences lies in paying close attention to the details. Notice the places you visit, the people you meet, the emotions you feel, and the atmosphere surrounding the dream. Often the message is not hidden in one dramatic symbol, but in the emotional truth the dream leaves behind. Some dreams may be guiding your choices. Others may be drawing your attention to an area of life that needs healing, courage, or change. For example, if you repeatedly dream of yourself living in a way you deeply desire, but have not yet achieved in your present life, this may be more than wishful thinking. It could be an indication that this version of reality already exists in another dimension, and that your soul is being shown what is possible for you. In this sense, the dream becomes not only a message, but an invitation. Interpreting these dreams requires introspection, patience, and spiritual sensitivity. One of the most powerful practices is to sit quietly after waking. It's before the energy of the day distracts you, and reflect on what you experienced. Meditation can help you reconnect with the feeling of the dream and uncover its deeper meaning. When approached with openness and awareness, dreams can reveal that another version of you may already be reaching across realities, not to confuse you, but to remind you of the life, wisdom, and potential that may already exist within your reach. As you reflect on these dreams and the messages they may be carrying, take a moment to ask yourself this: what if your soul has been trying to show you something all along? What if the images, emotions, and strange familiarity you experience at night are not random at all, but gentle signals guiding you toward a deeper truth? Before we move into the next part of this journey, I'd love to hear what you think. Have you ever had a dream that felt more real than reality itself? If this message resonates with you, please like the video, share your thoughts in the comments, or simply type, "I am open to the signs," to let this community know that you are listening. Section 4. Why you suddenly feel out of place. Your parallel self is calling another sign of communication with a parallel version of yourself can appear in those unusual moments when you suddenly feel out of place, as though the reality around you no longer fits in the way it normally does. It may happen without warning. You could be standing in a familiar room, walking through a street you know well, or going about an ordinary part of your day, and yet something feels subtly off. For a brief moment, your surroundings may seem distant, unfamiliar, or strangely misaligned, as if part of you is no longer fully anchored in the present reality. This sensation, often described as feeling out of time or out of place, can be unsettling. But from a spiritual perspective, it may also carry a deeper meaning. And these experiences can suggest that your consciousness is momentarily tuning into another frequency, brushing against a parallel version of yourself. It is as though the boundaries between realities become slightly blurred, allowing you to sense the existence of another path, another environment, or another life that also belongs to you in some way. What feels like disorientation on the surface may actually be a subtle adjustment in awareness. Your mind may not know how to explain it, but your soul recognizes that something is shifting. For example, you may find yourself in a place that has always felt normal, only to suddenly experience the strange impression that you should be somewhere else. Or perhaps everything looks the same, yet the emotional tone of the moment feels unfamiliar, as if you have slipped for an instant between one reality and another. These moments can be quiet signals inviting you to reflect more deeply on your life. They may be asking you to consider where you are, what choices brought you here, and what might have unfolded if you had chosen differently. In that sense, this feeling of not quite belonging may not be a mistake at all. It may be a message from a parallel self, urging you to become more conscious of your direction. Intuition is another powerful sign of this connection. We have all experienced that inner knowing that seems to arise without logic, explanation, or visible evidence. It may come as a sudden certainty, a deep pull toward a person or decision, or an unmistakable feeling that something needs to change. Usually, intuition is described as an inner voice or a spiritual compass. But it is possible that some of our strongest intuitions are actually messages from a version of ourselves who has already lived through the consequences of a choice we are only beginning to face. Imagine feeling a strong urge to move forward, walk away, speak up, or trust a path that your rational mind cannot yet justify. That feeling may be more than emotion. It may be guidance arriving from another version of you in a different reality, one who has already made that decision and is now sending a signal back through consciousness. In this way, intuition becomes more than instinct. It becomes a bridge between timelines, helping you align with the path that is most in harmony with your deeper purpose. Alongside this, sudden changes in behavior can also reveal the influence of a parallel version of yourself. Sometimes people begin adopting new habits, interests, routines, or ways of thinking without being fully able to explain why. You may feel drawn to something that never interested you before. You may begin waking earlier, changing your diet, exploring a new spiritual practice, or feeling naturally pulled toward a different way of living. These shifts may seem random on the surface, but they can reflect a deeper energetic alignment. It is possible that a parallel version of you has already embodied these changes, and that energy is now beginning to impress itself upon your current life. When this happens, the transformation often feels subtle at first, but meaningful. It is as if another version of you is gently influencing your present reality, not by controlling you, but by awakening dormant possibilities already within you. And when you learn to notice these moments with openness instead of fear, you begin to see that even your confusion may be guiding you. Even your restlessness may contain wisdom, because sometimes the signs that you are changing realities do not come as dramatic revelations. Sometimes they arrive as a quiet feeling that you no longer fully belong to the life you have outgrown. Section 5. Raise your frequency. How to align with a higher version of you. Once you begin to recognize the signs that communication may be taking place between you and your parallel versions, the next natural step is to learn how to align your energy so that this connection becomes clearer, stronger, and more meaningful. This process is often called vibrational attunement, and it is not something distant or mystical beyond your reach. It is a practice that can be cultivated every day. Through it, you gradually draw closer to those alternative versions of yourself and begin to integrate their wisdom into your present life. At the heart of this idea is a simple spiritual truth. Everything in the universe is energy, and all energy vibrates at different frequencies. Your thoughts carry frequency. Your emotions carry frequency. Your words, habits, and actions all emit a certain vibration that resonates with particular states of reality. When we speak about parallel realities from a spiritual perspective, we are also speaking about different vibrational conditions that coexist at the same time. The version of you who lives in peace, abundance, clarity, and inner balance is not simply lucky. That version is aligned with a frequency that naturally attracts those experiences. The important thing to understand is that your vibrational frequency is not fixed. It changes constantly depending on the quality of your inner life and the choices you make each day. It can be lowered by fear, resentment, self-doubt, and emotional chaos, but it can also be elevated through conscious practices that restore harmony within you. Among the most powerful of these are gratitude, forgiveness, and compassion. When you genuinely cultivate these states, you begin to shift your energy toward more harmonious realities. You draw closer to versions of yourself who are already living with greater peace and fulfillment. For example, daily gratitude may seem simple, but spiritually it is one of the most transformative practices available. When you consistently focus on what is already good, meaningful, and alive in your life, you train your energy to resonate with abundance rather than lack. In doing so, you begin aligning with a version of yourself for whom abundance is already natural. What starts as a mental practice gradually becomes an energetic bridge between your current reality and a more elevated one. Still, raising your vibration is not a one-time act. It is a continuous process. Yeah, and consistency is what strengthens the connection. This is why daily routines matter. Practices such as meditation, physical movement, conscious eating, and the deliberate choice of uplifting thoughts and words all help stabilize a higher frequency. Meditation in particular is a powerful tool because it quiets the mind and clears negative energetic patterns that may be interfering with your connection to your higher versions. In the stillness of meditation, the inner noise begins to fade, and your awareness becomes more receptive. Even the way you nourish your body contributes to this process. A diet rich in natural and nutritious foods supports not only physical health, but also emotional clarity and energetic sensitivity. When your body feels lighter and your mind becomes clearer, your entire field becomes more open and responsive. But beyond the actions themselves, your intention matters deeply. These practices are not meant to be performed mechanically. They become truly transformative when you approach them with conscious purpose. Each habit should be seen as a step toward the version of yourself you want to embody, like a bridge connecting who you are now with who you are capable of becoming. Meditation becomes even more powerful when combined with visualization. If you wish to manifest greater peace and harmony, you can enter meditation and imagine yourself already living in that reality. See yourself in a calm environment. Feel the emotional atmosphere of that life. Let your body absorb the peace as if it were already true. Over time, this practice helps tune your vibration to the reality you are calling in, making that version of yourself feel less distant and more present in your daily experience. Yet none of these practices can fully work without awareness. Self-awareness is essential because it allows you to notice whether your thoughts, emotions, and behaviors are actually aligned with the reality you wish to enter. Many people desire peace, abundance, or clarity while unconsciously feeding patterns of fear, negativity, and limitation. Through daily self-observation, you begin to identify these patterns and gently transform them. Take a few moments each day to ask yourself what you are feeling, what thoughts are dominating your mind, and whether they reflect the version of yourself you truly wish to become. If they do not, then make conscious adjustments. Replace what weakens you with what strengthens you. And because the more intentionally you shape your inner world, the more clearly you begin to align with the reality your soul has been trying to reach. Section 6, How to Decode the Signs. Your parallel self is sending you, and it is through this energetic attunement that you begin to notice signs and messages that seem to rise from somewhere both deeply familiar and profoundly mysterious. They may feel as though they come from within you, yet also from beyond the boundaries of your ordinary awareness. This is often how communication from parallel versions of yourself is first experienced, not as something loud or dramatic, but as a subtle inner recognition that something meaningful is trying to reach you. However, perceiving these messages is only the beginning. Interpreting them requires a delicate combination of self-awareness, intuition, patience, and practice. When people first encounter these signs, their immediate reaction is often doubt. The mind wants to explain everything logically, and when something does not fit neatly into reason, it is easy to dismiss it. You may wonder whether it was only your imagination, an emotional projection, or a coincidence with no deeper meaning. Yet, as we have explored, these signs can appear in many forms. A recurring dream that lingers in your spirit, a strong feeling of déjà vu, synchronicities that seem far too precise to be random, or sudden intuitive nudges that arrive without explanation. The challenge is not only noticing these experiences, but learning how to listen to them without fear or dismissal. The first step in interpreting these messages is to recognize them and validate them. Do not ignore them simply because they are subtle. Do not rush to dismiss a strange dream, a repeated symbol, awe, or an inner feeling that continues returning to your awareness. Instead, begin to treat these moments as meaningful data from your inner and spiritual life. Write them down. Reflect on them, return to them over time, and observe whether a pattern begins to emerge. Very often, what seems confusing in a single moment becomes much clearer when viewed as part of a larger sequence. For example, if you repeatedly dream of the same place, the same person, or the same kind of situation, this may be more than repetition. It may suggest that a version of you in another reality is trying to draw your attention toward an experience, choice, or lesson that has relevance for your current life. The message may not always be literal. A place in a dream may symbolize a state of being, A person may represent a part of yourself. A repeated event may be guiding you toward a path you have not yet fully recognized. The more consciously you reflect, the more these signs begin to speak in a language you can understand. Meditation can also become a powerful tool in this process. When you enter a deeper state of stillness, the noise of everyday thought begins to quiet, and your awareness becomes more sensitive to subtle impressions. If you have received a sign, a dream, a symbol, a sudden intuitive feeling, you can bring it into meditation and hold it gently in your mind. Rather than forcing an answer, allow yourself to sit with it. Let your intuition respond. Often, meaning does not arrive through analysis alone, but through resonance. You feel it before you can fully explain it. This is why intuition plays such an essential role in interpreting these signs. The message may not make sense immediately, and it may not reveal itself in a perfectly clear or logical form, but your intuition can often detect truth long before your conscious mind catches up. That quiet inner sense, the feeling that something matters, the subtle certainty that a sign is meant for you, these are not things to overlook. They are part of the interpretive process itself. So, trust your inner voice. Trust the feeling that accompanies the experience. If something resonates deeply, if it stays with you, if it feels quietly significant, then there is a strong possibility that you are being guided toward the meaning of that message. In this work, not every answer comes at once, but when you learn to observe consciously, reflect honestly, and trust what your spirit recognizes, you begin to understand that these signs are not random interruptions. They are invitations, gentle messages from another dimension of your own being, guiding you step by step toward greater clarity, alignment, and awareness. Before we move into the next part of this journey, take a quiet moment to reflect on the signs that may already be speaking to you. Have you experienced a dream, a synchronicity, or an inner knowing that felt too powerful to ignore? Sometimes the first step toward understanding is simply being willing to acknowledge that something deeper may be unfolding. If this message resonates with you, please like the video, share your thoughts in the comments, or simply type, "I trust the signs meant for me," to affirm that you are open to the guidance your soul is receiving. Section 7. Follow the message. Turning spiritual signs into real-life change. After you begin to interpret the signs you have received, the next step is to bring those lessons gently into your daily life. This is where true transformation begins. Insight alone is powerful, but its deepest value emerges when it begins to shape the way you think, choose, feel, and move through the world. This integration does not have to happen all at once. In fact, it is often more meaningful when it unfolds gradually, as your awareness deepens and you become more honest about what in your life is ready to change. To apply the messages coming from a parallel version of yourself means being willing to open inwardly to new ways of living. It means allowing fresh patterns of thought to replace old limitations. It means becoming receptive to new emotional responses, new decisions, and new possibilities that previously may have felt unfamiliar or even uncomfortable. Sometimes the guidance you receive will not arrive in a dramatic form. It may come as a persistent inner nudge, a recurring feeling, or a quiet certainty that something in your life is no longer aligned with who you are becoming. If a parallel version of you is guiding you toward a certain path, the question is not whether you can instantly become that version of yourself, but how you can begin honoring that message in the reality you live now. What small step can you take today that reflects the wisdom you have received? What choice can you make that brings your present life into greater harmony with the higher direction being revealed to you? This is the essence of integration, translating spiritual insight into lived experience. For example, you may feel a strong intuition to change careers. On the surface, that feeling may seem frightening, impractical, or difficult to explain. Yet, if it continues returning to you, it may be more than a passing thought. It may be guidance from a version of you who has already taken that path and discovered that it leads to greater purpose, fulfillment, or alignment. In that case, integration does not necessarily mean making a sudden dramatic leap. It may begin with research, reflection, learning a new skill, or simply admitting to yourself that your soul is asking for something more. Each small action becomes a way of responding to the message. Another practical example may appear as a persistent desire to explore a new hobby, gift, or skill. Perhaps you feel drawn to writing, painting, teaching, healing, music, or some other form of expression that seems to awaken something deep inside you. Even if you do not fully understand why this pull is so strong, it may be a message from a version of yourself who has already embraced that path and found joy, meaning, and fulfillment through it. When you choose to follow that inner guidance, you are doing more than learning something new. You are expanding your current identity and strengthening your connection to that parallel self. This is why integrating these messages matters so deeply. Each time you act on genuine inner guidance, you reinforce a bridge between your present reality and a more aligned version of yourself. You begin to live with greater authenticity. You stop resisting the quiet wisdom that has been trying to reach you. And over time, the life you are building begins to reflect not fear, habit, or limitation, but a deeper truth about who you are and what you are capable of becoming. In this way, following the guidance of your parallel self is not about escaping your current life. It is about enriching it, evolving it, and bringing it into closer alignment with your highest potential. With every step you take in response to these messages, you not only develop new abilities and greater self-understanding, but also connect more deeply with the version of yourself that may already be living the life your soul has been quietly preparing you to enter. Section 8. Become the version of you that already exists in another reality. The true importance of integrating these messages lies in the way they help you create a life that feels more authentic, more conscious, and more deeply aligned with who you really are. Every small adjustment you make, every inner shift you honor, and every decision you choose based on these deeper insights brings you closer to the highest version of yourself, the version that may already exist in another reality, waiting for you to meet it through your own growth. What may seem like a minor change in thought, behavior, or direction can, over time, become the beginning of a profound transformation. When you choose to align with the messages coming from your parallel versions and begin applying them in your daily life, you are stepping onto a path of both personal and spiritual evolution. This is not only about improving your circumstances, it is about becoming more aware of your own multidimensional nature. Every new realization expands your understanding of who you are. Every behavior you consciously change brings your outer life into greater harmony with your inner truth. And every decision made from this deeper level of awareness moves you toward a more elevated expression of yourself. In this way, alignment becomes more than a spiritual idea. It becomes a living practice. You start to notice that growth is not only measured by what you achieve outwardly, but by how fully you embody the version of yourself that feels most real, most peaceful, and most connected to your soul. The more you listen to these messages, the more your life begins to reflect intention rather than habit, consciousness rather than confusion, and purpose rather than fear. This process also expands your consciousness in a powerful way. As you begin to align with these other versions of yourself, you gradually realize that the reality you are currently living is not the only one available to you. It is simply one expression among many. This awareness can be deeply liberating. It reminds you that you are not trapped by old patterns, past choices, or limited beliefs. You have the power to shift. You have the power to choose. Through the energy you emit and the decisions you make, you begin to move toward the reality that resonates most fully with your highest self. And with every step you take in that direction, new doors begin to open. You start to discover layers of yourself that may have remained hidden before. Greater wisdom, greater courage, greater compassion, and a deeper sense of inner knowing. What once seemed impossible may begin to feel accessible. What once felt distant may begin to feel like it is already calling you home. This is the beauty of spiritual alignment. It reveals that your potential is not fixed and your future is not closed. It is alive, responsive, and shaped by your willingness to grow. Aligning with your parallel versions does not only guide you toward a more fulfilling life, it also deepens your connection to the greater unity of the universe itself, the vast field of consciousness in which all versions of you continue to exist in harmony. Through this integration, you are doing more than changing your reality. You are evolving as a being. You are opening yourself to infinite possibilities for healing, expansion, and fulfillment. And that is why every sign you notice, every message you courageously interpret, and every choice you make from that wisdom matters. Each one becomes a catalyst. Each one becomes a step toward a life that does not merely look better from the outside, but truly reflects who you are across all your dimensions. Thank you for taking this journey with me today. If you have stayed until this moment, perhaps something in this message was meant for you. Perhaps a part of your soul recognized these ideas, not as something entirely new, but as something deeply familiar, something you were ready to remember. The path of awakening is not always loud or dramatic. Sometimes it begins in quiet moments of recognition, in subtle signs, in inner shifts that gently invite you to see your life in a new way. If this video resonated with you, let it be more than just something you watched. Let it become something you reflect on. Let it stay with you as you move through your day, as you notice your thoughts, your choices, your dreams, and the subtle signals that may be trying to guide you toward a higher version of yourself. Because the truth is, your life may be far more expansive, mysterious, and meaningful than it first appears. And when you begin to listen more deeply, you may discover that the universe has been speaking to you all along. I would love to hear from you in the comments. Share your thoughts, your experiences, or simply leave this quote: "I am becoming the version of myself my soul came here to awaken." Let that be your declaration. Let it be a sign that you are ready to move forward with greater awareness, greater purpose, and greater trust in the path unfolding before you. And if this message touched your heart, please take a moment to like this video, subscribe to Spiritual Cosmos, and share it with someone who may need this message today. You never know who might be searching for exactly these words, exactly at the right time. And when you are ready, stay with us and watch the next video below, because your journey does not end here. There is always another layer to uncover, another truth to remember, and another doorway waiting to open. Thank you again for being here, for sharing your energy, and for allowing this space to become part of your spiritual journey. Until next time, take care of yourself, stay open to the signs, and keep walking toward the highest version of who you are.